Hey everyone, how you doing today? It's me, David, coming to you from my whiskey den here in Central Ohio. I hope your day is going well. We are in the middle of winter. It's been sub-zero degrees outside. We had a snowstorm the last couple of, not really a storm, but our first snow of the season. So we got a couple of inches, but it, is enough to keep that wood fire going in the wood stove, to crack open a little bit of bourbon and have a nice pour. So I want to share with you some of my favorite recommendations for a good cold winter's day kicking back bourbon. And I'm trying to keep it with stuff that's pretty widely accessible. Some of them you may not find in your state. And I also want to acknowledge Keith at the Bourbon Shop channel up in that state up north, Michigan. There's something, I'm not native to the area, and there's just this whole big rivalry between Ohio and Michigan, something to do with Toledo, but Michigan could have, no, never mind. Toledo, there's parts of Toledo that are nice. Holy Toledo. Anyway, but I want to share my picks with you, and I didn't want to really overlap stuff that Keith did, but a couple of them do overlap because they're just good bourbons. I also wanted to do stuff that's widely available that you should be able to find in your neck of the woods, even though some of them I can't get here in Ohio, but you can probably get where you're at. There's a couple I have on my list, like Old Grandad 114. I don't have anymore because I like it so much, I gotta get another bottle of it. Weller Antique 107, not super widely available, but dang good pour on a winter's day. Should be on the list, but it's not because of availability issues. And the third one that should be on the list but isn't is Frey Ranch. I recorded a video review, first taste review for it, which is due out beginning of February. So that does make my list. I'm not going to feature it because I haven't officially released the review yet. But I've got 5 more here, right down here, that I'm going to feature. And in no particular, I don't know what order we have them in, but we're going to start with this one. For $22, Old Forester 100 proof. It's a, really good bourbon. I'm actually surprised with how good it is. Once I tried it out of that neck pour, it just tasted average and standard to me, but now that it's opened up, in my opinion, it's a pretty nice, complex bourbon. 100 proof, and all these bourbons are at 100 proof. Yeah, this is the lowest proof on my list, because you want something that packs a little heat, is a little mellow, and is a nice higher proof than your standard 80 or 90 proof bourbon. And for me, Old Forester 100, Old Forester 86 proof, I've really come to enjoy and appreciate. But this 100 proof is just deeper and more complex. Again, a nice proof bourbon. One other that was going to make the list is Peerless Small Batch, but I haven't reviewed that. I did a sampling at the distillery, but another great selection if you can find it and afford it. Next one on the list, we might just go in order of proof here, and I can say nothing but good things about the Maker's Mark selections I've had. I do enjoy standard 90 proof Maker's Mark. I really love the number 46 recipe, but for a cold, stormy winter's day with a soft fire going in the fireplace, Maker's Mark 101 to me is a no-brainer. You're laying there on the sofa reading a book, you got your dog, your golden retriever at your feet with a bearskin rug there that they're laying on, and you're just sipping on some of this Maker's 101. Solid, good, reliable, dependable, tastes great. Actually, does remind me of Weller Antique 107, just a little bit softer taste to this one, but really good pour. So this is my second bottle. I haven't cracked it open yet, obviously, but really, really enjoyable. Next one, again, I can't get this here in Ohio, but I do stock up on Johnny Drum private stock at 101 proof as well. Whenever I'm down in Kentucky and I see it down there, this is out of the Willett Distillery. It is, at this point, my favorite all around. Doesn't break the bank, easy to drink, affordable, not easy to find for me, bourbon. And to me, it's very underrated. It's my secret little pleasure. I don't know. It's just an excellent bourbon. I highly recommend it for anyone. If I see it in a liquor store and someone's looking for a nice, smooth, easy to drink, good proof bourbon, I always recommend the Johnny Drum private stock. The next one is one that I don't, again, not here in Ohio. I've seen it in Michigan and surrounding states, definitely in Kentucky because it's a Kentucky distillery, is the MB Roland. This is their 108 proof Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. And it is just a phenomenal bourbon. You know, and I'm going to add one more to this list off the cuff, but in line with this. But just excellent. The distillery is excellent. Their bourbon, it's kind of like if you imagine yourself like maybe decades ago, like what bourbon was like 60, 70 years ago, before it became all corporate and they're mass producing it, and which with these you're getting something that's gonna be tasting the same year after year. It's widely available, but then you have gems like this where, to me, it's what bourbon should taste like, if that makes sense. And that's why I love these micro distilleries, the ones that are like the mom and pop distilleries. You're getting, in my opinion, authentic bourbon. Not that this stuff is not authentic. You're getting the stuff that's made with love and heart, and the people who own the distillery are the ones making the bourbon. So they're putting their love into it, and it's reflected in that MB Roland. It's also, oh my gosh, why did I not pull this off? Glens Creek Distillery. This is in the old Crow Distillery down in, is it Frankfurt? Where was it? They're right next to Castle and Key. So I think Frankfurt, right there. They're literally like up next door, a mile down the street, on a dirt road next to Castle and Key. So if you go visit Castle and Key, go down to Glens Creek. This is their OCD number 5. It is just an outstanding bourbon. I should not do this because we're going to be driving down to Columbus in a little bit, but a little taste, we're going to meet a friend down there for afternoon, for dinner, for supper, but I can't resist. This is their standard corn, rye, and barley recipe. It's aged for 37 months. However, it it drinks like it's like a 10-year bourbon. In my 8-year, 10-year, like a more, like, has more age on it. Smoky, rich. Oh my gosh. That is just like the MB Roland. It's what bourbon is supposed to be. It's supposed to kick you in the teeth a little bit. So they have the OCD. This is, I think, their flagship bourbon. I only have seen it in Kentucky, so I don't know if they are shipping out of state. They don't sell it here in Ohio. I think it was like $60, $65 a bottle for that. Their sweet bourbon is their wheated bourbon. I think that's 107 proof, same price. It just outstanding. The sweet is kind of like their answer to like Pappy, is what it tastes like. Such a good bourbon. Anything I've had, and they also have a version of the original Old Crow. I guess they found the recipe, or they replicated the recipe, and so they do their own version of Old Crow, what Old Crow used to be before Jimmy Beam got his hands on it. So again, a really good bourbon. And this is actually these two are tied right now for my favorite bourbon, with, you know, the MB Roland in a close second behind those two. So the last one I'm going to feature, to me, is the ultimate, one of the ultimate snowy day kickback bourbons, is the Wild Turkey Rare Breed. 116.8 proof. This is barrel proof, and Wild Turkey, anything, in my experience, anything pretty much under the 101, I shouldn't say that because I do like the Long Branch, but Wild Turkey for me starts at the 101 and goes up. So not crazy about the Russell's Reserve 90 proof. The Wild Turkey 81 proof has its place, but it's not my favorite. This is just an elegant, really good, solid, snowy day pour. And even though Wild Turkey is a corporate bourbon, you still got the Russells there. They've been doing this, Jimmy Russell, since the 50s, master distiller since the mid-60s. I'm sure he gets input from the bosses up above. And I can't remember who I think is it Shinzano, or one of them is the owner. But I would hope that they just let the Russells do what they do best without a lot of interference from the suits up above. But to me, this is probably one of the last, even though it's corporately owned, traditional, solid bourbons. At least they want me to think that. So Wild Turkey Rare Breed. So these ended up being my 6, plus the Old Granddad 114, plus the Frey Ranch, which is a 90 proof. There's one or two others, but these are a solid 6, plus definitely that Old Granddad 114. Gotta get another bottle of that. So there you go. Until next time, it is me, David, coming to you from my whiskey den here in Central Ohio. Hope your next pour is your best pour. Do you enjoy any of these? Is there something I forgot or that I should try, which is a good wintry pour that you think I will enjoy? Leave that in the comments. All right. So we'll talk to you next time. Thank you for watching. Hey everyone, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe so you can be notified of future videos as they drop. Thanks for watching.